we're excited for the new season, excited for the new league, and we wish everybody well. As far as the Beavers, our schedule this year, we feel it's the most parity we've had since the old WCHA. We feel these 8 teams are going to be very strong, and every night's going to be a dogfight. 14. We played 14 games against teams who were in the NCAA tournament last year. Our non-conference games this year are North Dakota, Duluth, St. Cloud, and Arizona State. So competitive non-conference schedule, competitive conference schedule. I think the fans are going to get their money's worth. As far as our team, we have 18 players back last year who played 10 or more games. It was a little bit of a shortened season with 29 games because of the COVID protocols, but it's going to be very. We're going to have pretty good competitive depth and with some good freshmen coming in. Other than that, our leadership group, we have a lot of returners from last year. Our captains are going to be Ethan Somoza, Owen Sillinger, and Brad Johnson. And our alternate captains, we're going to have 5 captains total with Alex Iarulo and Alex Adams. Ethan Somoza and Brad Johnson, they are coming back. They opted in for a 5th year. We call it the super seniors. So they're back as 5th year seniors.
Okay, we will open it up to questions for Head Coach Tom Serratore with Bemidji State. Again, if you do have a question, please utilize the raise hand feature at the bottom of your Zoom window. Remember to unmute yourself and please state your name and your affiliation before asking the question. Quite a few coming in. Let's start with Anthony.
Morning, Coach. Anthony Travaglia with College Hockey News. When we look back at kind of the experience that the group gained in the NCAA tournament last year, what can you take from that experience and apply it, to this year to make the group, more successful?
Well, I don't know what you do. I mean, the bottom line was, we played in a lot of big games last year. Of course, that NCAA tournament stage is a big one, but I think it's like anything. It reinforces. Doesn't matter who you're playing. If you're playing well and if you're dialed in and you can beat anybody, and that's college hockey. And I think that's probably the biggest thing is it just reinforces the same thing that the coaches are talking about. And we told our guys the other day, it was interesting. I met with a colleague this summer, and we talked about competition in college hockey. It doesn't matter, 1 to 60, and he uses with his team that they're a half a letter grade better, or half a letter grade worse, or the same letter grade as the teams are playing. And I think that was just a great analogy. It's one of those things that is a great trigger. I think it's a great visual, and that's what it's about. And you have to be ready, and every play matters. And it boils down to just, again, one play at times. So that's probably the biggest thing. I don't necessarily know if it's the NCAA tournament, but it reinforces what we're trying to sell to our team and what kind of messages we're trying to convey to our team.
Next up, Christian Babcock.
Hi, Tom. Christian Babcock from the Bemidji Pioneer. You mentioned all those returning players. How do you build off such a successful season that you had last year with all those players back?
Well, everybody's got a lot of returners, Christian. That's the one thing you're going to find out, not only in the CCHA, but in college hockey, because of the opt-in rule, because of the 5th year, you're going to be surprised how experienced teams are going to be, how old teams are going to be, and that's everybody. So I don't necessarily know if we're have any more experience than anybody else. And the one thing that we did talk about it. Another thing we talked about in our first meeting is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really what happened last year, and we have a lot of experience. We have a lot of the same guys. But we better have the same players, and our players better improve. Those same guys have to improve as well. So I've been in this game a long time, and it just doesn't mean anything if you have returners. Those returners, there has to be a purpose right there, and they have to be ready to take that next step. So hopefully that happens. But again, time will tell. But those are the things that, again, we're talking about as a group, and there's never any guarantees. That's for sure. You got to play the game. That's why they drop the puck.
Ryan?
Hey, Tom, this is Ryan from the tripledeek.com. An exhibition game was added to your schedule against North Dakota. Do you feel a game like that will be a big benefit to your team to start the year?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question it's going to be a benefit. You're playing somebody with the caliber of North Dakota. I think it's going to be, a great game. We're going to play a lot of guys. They're going to play a lot of guys. It is an exhibition game. So it's not win at all costs. It's not. But it's also going to give us an opportunity to watch some really quality video. That's to me, the biggest thing is when you play those exhibition games, and we haven't played them in a couple of years, but the biggest thing is what kind of video, what kind of teaching clips, what are you going to learn from that exhibition game? Because you're playing 6 days later.
Chaz?
Hey, Tom, Chaz Moose, Lakeland News up here in Bemidji. Yeah, you talk about those super seniors. I mean, how valuable is it to have guys, especially leadership, with like specifically Ethan Samoza and then Brad Johnson, like you said?
Nah, Chad, you can't put you can't put a price tag on having those guys back. It's again, you hit it on the head. The experience, not only the playing experience, but they're quality people. And when you have quality people like Johnson, Ethan back, that just it spreads to the rest of the locker room. And those guys, they know too. I mean, these guys know. I mean, when those guys said they're coming back, you could just see the whole room light up. And as from a coaching staff, we lit up as well, because we just know what we're getting from those guys night in and night out. Again, not only the effort on the ice, but what they do off the ice, the messages they send, how they conduct themselves in the classroom, outside the classroom, in the weight room. They're A+ people.
Matthew?
Matt Pocket, Yes FM, and Sault Ste. Marie. Coach, Zach Driscoll had a really good career for you guys. What's the plan going forward in net for this year?
It's competition, and that's what it's about right now. It's competition, and we have 3 goalies, and it's just, that's what, I can't say anything more than that, because we've only had our 4 hours a week practices, but they're competing for a job, and it's a great opportunity for these guys. And, we just got to let that play out. You just got to let it play out.
Time for one more for Coach. I just saw 2 put their hands down at the same time. Dave, did you have something? Christian.
Tom, in spite of your success last year, and it was an extremely successful year, I would think preparing for the season with the COVID uncertainty and the protocols was difficult. So has it been any easier this year?
Yeah, a little easier. It's still not the way it was. We're not back to the normalcy of a couple of years ago, but it's a lot easier, and things are a lot better. So yeah, I mean, it helps, but there's always some, it's there. There's no question. It's there in a multitude of different ways. But you also, we don't discuss it. We don't talk about it. We just, the biggest thing is the task at hand. What's the task at hand? Practice that particular day, the theme in practice, what we're trying to accomplish as a team. And we're back to just, they're back to practicing and playing, and, we're back to teaching and coaching. And I think that's what it is, but it's there. We know it's there. Well, we really have, we haven't really discussed it, not too, a little bit, but we really haven't gotten into too much detail about everything else, because again, the guys are, they've done a great job, and we're just trying to focus on the season.
10:40. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, gang.
That was head coach Tom Serratore.